Hello and welcome back to another episode of Doctor Who, the season finale, Empire of Death. Alright, Sutek is back. In the past week, I have sat down and I rewatched Pyramids of Mars. It was a pretty fun story. I felt really sorry for the one dude who just wanted his brother back, and everyone ended up dying. I did find it very interesting that in that episode, or that story, the goal was to keep Sutek contained. It was like bad things are gonna happen if Sutek escapes and gets out. And clearly he has in this episode, so I'm suspecting bad things will be happening. There's one thing I do like about the classic, is that while there are often high stakes and very big things, you know, if Sutek escaped, then it could mean the death of the universe, or an empire of death. But in the moment, it's a very contained story. You know, they were trapped essentially in the square around the building. They had only a few places to go, and the immediate effects were only a few people. Whereas modern Doctor Who tends to be bigger and bigger and bigger, and the immediate affects a whole lot of people, and it's just a very different type of storytelling. And not to say classic never affects a whole lot of people. You know, we've had invasions, we had Cybermen in the streets and Daleks raiding the world or whatever, but modern Who tends to have events that affect the world immediately a lot more. But that's a bit of an aside. I'm very excited to see what will happen in this episode. I'm hoping for some answers. Still kind of hoping for Susan, since we had so much of an emphasis on her, but only if Carol Ann Ford comes back. Unless she's Mrs. Flood. Mrs. Flood seems sus. I don't know. I'm not going to theorize too much, because I don't really have any theories. I'm just excited to see what happens. I've not seen any previews or anything for this, so I'm going in completely blind, pretty much, just with what we knew from last week's episode. I'm just looking forward to watching this episode, so I'm not going to talk too much more, but yeah, let's just watch this and see what happens in Empire of Death. Let's go! Okay, right into it. I did also, another thing I really liked about the Pyramids of Mars is the makeup on the main guy who was possessed by Sutek, because there wasn't anything too dramatic, but he was so pale and there was like red around his eyes, and it looked really haunting. And it isn't quite as a dramatic effect as the half skull head, but it worked really well. I am interested to see what the take on Sutek being set free is, because he was like from another planet originally, so he's, yeah.
Back. Try to contain that thing.
Yeah, okay.
Sutek's dust.
Open fire!
Oh dear. Maybe we should evacuate the two teenagers, please. Oh, I almost saw a face. Yeah, I don't think that's doing much.
Oh, one day.
I feel like the brig had a line exactly like that. Oh, well.
Are you there? This is me signing on. With thanks.
No!
Birds will sing
Oh.
again.
Rose
We'll
just...
be back.
Okay, that's going to be reversed. I'm sorry, I don't believe that that is actually happening. This is going to be reversible, but I'm excited to see how it happens.
People are being told to evacuate the city immediately.
Alright, Mrs. Flood. Mrs. Flood?
I'm so sorry.
Okay, I'm thinking she's
Pretend like this.
not Susan.
I had such plans.
What is going on? Okay, this is either a really baller way of setting stakes, or it's going to be extremely reversible. Wait, what? hold up. A memory of a time machine. This is where they had Tales of the TARDIS. Ha! I was not expecting that to come into an actual Doctor Who episode. Hey, hey! Sutek, can you give us our TARDIS back, please? Sounds so good. Sarah!
Imprisoned for all eternity.
And then he
rose
got
again,
sent
and I defeated him.
for very far
I
into the
cast you
future.
into the time vortex.
Yeah.
I sent you forward.
I clung to your infernal machine. I have traveled with you for all this time.
He's been on the TARDIS since the 4th Doctor. I don't know if I like that, but we're going with it for now. How did that work when the TARDIS got duplicated then?
Doctor, never.
Ooh, I don't like that red.
Her name, Susan. The perfect trap. Every living thing is an abomination.
I feel like this implies that every single place the Doctor has been to since the 4th Doctor, there's Susan Triad people. Look at the canine head.
So remember TARDIS.
All the coats and scarves.
Pieces of every
Oh
TARDIS that ever
no!
put together by...
Oh.
Can it fly?
No idea.
See, having such big stakes like this almost lowers the stakes because you know that it's not going to stay, you know, it's not going to stay with the Earth destroyed and all of these people dead. So you know that somehow they're going to fix things.
Tie that lever down. All those switches down, yeah?
Now this feels like a TARDIS. I missed it falling apart.
Absolute death trap, the enemy.
I love the Gallifrey and other fire extinguisher. There's something so fun about the TARDIS just falling apart. We gotta rescue the TARDIS.
It's like intelligent rope.
What you mean, like?
Ah, the language of rope.
Because it casts a field around it at 66.7 meters exactly.
73 yards.
73 yards. Ah.
How do you know that?
It was the woman... and that's the distance between the
So that you can see things.
the CCTV camera and Ruby, right?
It's a monumental figure.
What's she done? Sutek called her an angel of death. What did she do?
Is she Ruby's mother? Ooh. I love shots like this.
The dust of death. 2005.
I laugh at that because the way he said it makes it clear that he's thinking about Rose, and Rose is always haunting the narrative, especially when RTD is in charge of the narrative.
The Ood Sphere.
Oh, the Oods.
And Skyro.
The Daleks are dead.
Everything is dead.
Again.
The universe has come to a halt.
I feel like this happens every season.
The Time Lord.
No greater than him. The secret
one.
the child carries with her.
Ah.
I haven't seen anyone in weeks. There was a caravan that passed through, heading towards,
So some people have
I
survived.
don't know, somewhere over that way.
Baby.
Hush now, darling. Let me give the man his chaffee.
Is that
He was a
baby
little one.
Ruby?
They say memory is dying.
Oh.
There was a man that said that actual facts were dying in the death wave. I don't think I was born here. Then I met my husband. Whatever his name was. Tall. He was tall, I remember that.
Have you got any metal?
What is happening? What? Where
Metal
are
is a
we?
precious
Where
thing,
are
sir.
we? How long has it been for the Doctor? Why do I feel like this lady is Susan? Because she mentioned about not being born on the planet, but then meeting her husband, and that's what happened to Susan. Oh, okay. For a second, I thought that was going to be Susan's TARDIS key. Trying to think why a spoon is so
think my daughter died, didn't she?
I think she did.
What was that scene all about then?
That's what we need.
Yeah, I never understood what was all that Egyptian stuff.
Cultural appropriation.
The man with the hair.
Traveled in the TARDIS.
Got together, didn't we?
I like she's
Best
got
time of my life.
the
We
Seventh
met
Doctor's
Einstein.
vest.
Did we?
Oh no, she's starting to forget.
Why did you go on the attack?
They're all wearing such cozy jumpers.
Became visible outside the church because when he landed with the TARDIS in 2004, he saw the one thing beyond his comprehension. Your mother.
But if gods are scared of her, then what the hell does that mean? She's not this big cosmic thing, is she? Because in that case, what am I?
Ruby, you are absolutely...
I'm worried about Mel. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh.
And family.
She doesn't have any family though, right?
See her.
The government says.
Okay, then who's
Oh,
that?
oh, that's breaking into the other...
Let me see.
The most dangerous Prime Minister in history.
Most dangerous?
You haven't met him, have you?
No.
Well, she kind of
No,
has.
could I?
DNA testing became compulsory for the entire population in the UK. So if your mother was still alive, I could just...
What does that mean? Can we find Ruby's mother?
I'm worried about Mel. They all look so cozy. I love these outfits.
I see them, Melanie.
Mel.
Every living thing contains.
Okay.
2046.
Looks like they've had issues as well here.
Thank you.
I am glad we're learning more. Like, I enjoyed 73 Yards a lot as its own episode. But I'm glad we're digging into it a bit more. And that it wasn't, like, there was something more to it. Oh, that looks like an annoying screen, I won't lie.
And don't take any risks.
Mm.
We're all getting out of this.
Don't worry about me.
I'm worried about you.
Find that name.
He's got DNA testing on his sonic screwdriver.
Press search. Somewhere in there is your mother's name. Maybe we can use it to fight Ncuti.
I feel like there's a lot of things that could go wrong with this. Like, it's not definite at all. Oh, there's the song again. And now it's snowing. It's snowing of Mel as well? Is that a carry-on from Ruby's Snow? DNA match confirmed. Who is it? Uh-oh.
She died. Did you not?
Is Mel like dead?
Bring me the Time Lord and the child.
Mel had better not be actually dead or I'm gonna be upset. All of Sutek's people are wearing hoods and cloaks, just like Ruby's mother. The thing about there's lots of discussion about ancestry as well. And now I'm starting to think that Mel might be Ruby's mother. Because there's been an emphasis on Mel not having any family. Oh, green? Oh yeah, that's similar to what happened. No, no, that's a bad idea. What is it? Haha!
You great big god of nothing.
Oh, the rope. Yeah. TARDIS, my girl.
Die at the hand of
Oh,
Ncuti.
no. Yes, she's fighting back. Yes. Now what? Okay. Flying through the vortex with the door open is probably not great.
what happens if you bring death to death? You bring life!
I don't know if that's quite how that works, but okay, sure. Oh, thank goodness. Kate, where's Kate? Where's Kate? Show me Kate! And my guy, Ibrahim. Yeah, there he is. Where's Kate? Yay! Okay, see, I knew that was gonna happen. Oh, even this dude's alive. This is feeling very Dr. Dances. Everybody lives. Okay, but yeah, we don't know what Mrs. Flood is still. I'm not sure if we're gonna get an answer to that this time. She knows who's fixed it though. Dramatic standing. Oh. That's a pretty one. Ah, that's right. Okay. Okay, but who was Ruby's mother? Can we please address that now?
I pride myself that I am better than you. Because if you're dead, then I must represent life. Surely that's why I am.
I don't know if the Doctor has ever represented life. Okay, can we stop monologuing and just yeet him into the void, please? I feel like this is one of those yeah, okay, bye-bye. This is one of those, he's a villain who deserves to die, so you shouldn't feel too guilty about killing him. Yeah. Bye-bye. I feel like he shouldn't be too cut up about that, because in the past the Doctor has never really shied away from having to kill people if necessary. The pizza box.
And he gave you a very good brain. I think Unit can use you.
Oh. Kate's always
Anything to help.
always recruiting.
I'll make the tea.
Don't make it.
DNA retrieval.
Oh.
100%.
Okay. Please, can we actually get some answers?
Louise Alison Miller. 35 years old. 15 when she gave birth to you.
That's what I don't understand.
She's
so ordinary.
Yeah, why was she hidden?
No, she's wonderful.
But
And
why
she's
was she
ordinary,
hidden?
but I love her for that. I just...
She was important. Because we think she's important. It made her sheer existence more powerful than Time Lords and gods. In the end, the most important person in the universe was the most ordinary.
I kind of like that, I think. Because it undercuts everyone's theories.
She was naming you.
But why did the memory change then?
I always thought it was called Ruby because...
We're gonna go see her
She's
now?
happy.
I found her.
With a time machine.
Is that fair?
I think we should leave that alone.
But that's Ruby's mother. Yeah. Yeah, let her go see.
Ruby?
That's me. I was named after a road. Ruby Road. You left me where I was safe. And I just want to say thank you. It's you, I know it.
Nice. His photos.
Yeah?
I've got about 500. Proper photos. I'm printing them off.
Now, Doctor? You gonna whisk her away right now?
And then we can head off. You and me.
Where to?
Wherever you want. I think they found him. My dad, William, they think.
Oh, they are looking for her.
Because
dad
it
as
turns
well.
out he's... So we've got to go, and... I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Your life is out there now.
You could call and
He
see
doesn't do
my
that.
dad. You don't do that, do you? Will I ever see you again?
Of
course you will.
Your own granddaughter.
Yeah.
You left her and never went back.
Maybe I'll find her again one day.
He has been going back more and
But
more.
you, I talk about family in a way that I never did before. It's because of you. Goodbye.
Now, I think that Millie is coming back next season. But I do quite like this exit. And there he goes. At least he didn't break the house this time.
With a very happy ending for little Ruby Sunday.
Alright, Miss Flood. What are we doing?
Ruthlessly.
Mary Poppins?
And what happens, you might wonder? I'm sorry to say his story ends in absolute terror. Night-night.
Thanks. Okay. That concludes this season of Doctor Who. I felt it a little bit underwhelming. Oh, Nicholas Briggs did the voice of the Blinks. Good on him. He's always doing voices. Yes, so. Yes, I felt it was a little bit underwhelming. My issue with all of these giant, big, universal stakes is that they're not actually big stakes. They're like, okay, something big and dramatic is happening, and we're gonna fix it and reverse it, probably. Like, as soon as I saw Rose get dusted, I was like, okay, we're bringing, like, people are coming back. There's no way Rose is just getting dusted like that. And then Kate got dusted as well, and I was like, yeah, cool. There's no actual stakes involved in this, because the Doctor's just going to reverse it all. Which kind of undercut the whole episode, I felt. Yeah, I'm kind of circling why this season felt incomplete for me. And Ncuti as the Doctor felt incomplete to me. And I might make a full video on dissecting that in the near future. Because there were a lot of fun things in this season, and Ncuti is a great actor and he did a really good job, but I think just there's something missing about the whole thing that just makes it not quite as impactful as earlier seasons. And I think, like, my favourite part of this whole episode, and the thing that nearly got me crying, was Ruby reuniting with her mother, which was such a small, personal thing. That is where Doctor Who thrives, in those small, personal, like, here is one person, here is how this is affecting this one person. Not the dramatic, big, oh no, the universe is being destroyed things. It's the small stakes, you know, there's a handful of people here who are trying to do something. There's one person who is trying to find her mother and trying to find what, you know, that is where Doctor Who thrives the most, I think. In those small, little, impactful, personal stakes. I felt the Doctor's character felt almost a little inconsistent. I think one of my biggest issues, again, I'm circling it, and haven't quite nailed it down yet, but I think the Doctor is very passive and reactive, and as a response to previous decades macho male hero adventure characters, that the same way strong female characters are a response to the semi-passive damsel in distress figure characters of previous, you know, decades, that same thing is happening with male characters, where they're suddenly not allowed to be in control of the narrative, or you know, strong and protective and everything. Instead of finding a balance between strong and protective and emotional and vulnerable, the pendulum is swinging completely in the other direction, and there were very few scenes where the Doctor actually felt like he was in control. He was making definite decisions, and yeah, again, this is just my initial thoughts that I have been marinating on slightly for the past week or so, and will probably expand upon more in a full video. But yeah, there's an emphasis on I don't want to say because of the woke, but I think there is an emphasis on needing to be palatable for everyone, and so not... I was watching a video by The Critical Drinker the other day, discussing Davros in the Children in Need special, and how he wasn't wheelchair bound and wasn't disabled and everything in that special, because RTD was saying that, you know, we don't want to have a villain who's in a wheelchair because that's bad representation. And I think that kind of sums up, like, there's so much of a focus on not having bad representation that A, you start having representation just for the sake of representation, and you don't fully develop the characters who are representation. And B, you don't develop full stories, because you can just say, look, we've got representation, we don't need to tell a good story. If you say this is a bad, then obviously you're sexist or racist or bigoted or etc. And representation is good, representation is a great thing, but if representation is the focus of the story, then it's not an engaging story. And there was a comment in this episode where Ruby was asking, like, hey, what's with all of the Egyptian stuff? And the Doctor was like, oh, cultural appropriation, which felt like a dig at the original episode and saying, oh, look at how racist Doctor Who was back in the 80s. And I feel like you can't... If you're going to poke fun like that, then... I don't know, it sat a little bit wrong with me, because that was a really fun episode, and I love stories that take mythology and, you know, legends and myths and ascribe a truth to you, you know, like the ancient Egyptian gods came about because people saw aliens having this great war, and that is what they created their religion on, which I find really fun in sci-fi stories like this. And even in real life, you know, I love the truth behind mythology, trying to figure out, you know, was Troy an actual city, or why were these stories originally told? I love finding things like that. So, you know, I feel like poking fun at classic Doctor Who for being racist while simultaneously drawing from it, I don't know. From my experience of watching classic Doctor Who, there's very few instances. I mean, admittedly there are some blatantly racist and somewhat dated episodes, but on the whole, classic Doctor Who is not as offensive as people like to think it is, I think. And modern storytelling is trying to be so inoffensive that it's taking the heart out of storytelling. And, like, again, the Doctor being so hesitant to banish Sutekh or kill Sutekh or whatever it was, because he wants to be the bringer of life, felt a little bit out of character as well. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm also not sure how I feel about the idea of Sutekh having been hanging on to the TARDIS since the 80s, or 1911, or whenever it was, because that feels weird. But, or no, probably the 70s that episode came out, because it was Sarah Jane. Anyway, yeah, it was very cool seeing all of the classic clips, and I hope that we do see Susan, because she was very much present in the narrative. So I hope that she does come back at some point. Yeah, I also the Tales from the TARDIS console, that was really cool to see, because I watched Tales from the TARDIS and those were great. It was really cool seeing those characters back, and I want to see specifically Fraser Hines come back to Doctor Who, because I love Jamie and I really want Jamie to come back to the show. And he'd do it too. But anyway, that aside, Tales from the TARDIS, I was really confused about what actually was going on when I first watched those episodes, but it's like a memory of the TARDIS, and I was wondering if, like, the Doctor was going to say something about, needing to bring other memories back and pull in, like, previous companions, and then that was, like, slotting in when Tales from the TARDIS would have taken place. But when is very unnecessary when it comes to a time travel show like this, I suppose. Yeah. I don't know. I'll probably do a full video when I'm able to get my thoughts more in order. But I think there is just a couple of things that Doctor Who is trying to do or is not doing successfully that make me disappointed and feel like the show is missing something, and it isn't reaching the expectations I want it to. Still think it's better than Jodie Whittaker's run. No shade to her. It was just not good. But I hope it gets better from here. And yeah, I guess this will do it for Doctor Who for now. I am hoping to do some classic Doctor Who. I will be developing a list of classic Doctor Who episodes that I want to watch. And I'll probably start with the, I think, 1968 Dalek movie, because I haven't actually seen that. So, yeah, I kind of want to watch that. So if I start with that and then jump back to Unearthly Child and watch a couple of, a handful of episodes for each Doctor, and kind of work through the iconic classic Doctor Who episodes, because I want to talk about classic Doctor Who. So we'll see. Hopefully that will be coming soon. For those, I probably will be doing stuff on Patreon, so if you want to check that out, then go check that out. There's some other stuff up there. I just posted yes, it's up now. I posted an Indiana Jones reaction up on the Patreon, and it will be up on YouTube in a few days when this video comes out. But it'll be up on Patreon now. So if you want to go watch that, go check out the Patreon. If not, Doctor Who is sticking around, hopefully. Yeah, we'll be watching some classic stuff. Maybe rewatching some of the new stuff as well. I don't know. I have seen it all before, so I gotta find a friend who I can drag onto the camera with me to force them to watch it. Anyway, jump over to my Discord if you want to continue the discussion, or the Patreon. And thank you guys for coming along on this journey. It's been a lot of fun. Mostly. It's mostly been fun. There have been a bit of frustrating things. And we have a lot of things set up for next season, which I believe Millie Gibson is coming back for. I haven't really followed it, but I've heard rumours that she is coming back for season 2. Or at least the special. Season 2, season 15, I don't know. Whatever season it is. It feels like the first one for me because it's the first one I'm doing on YouTube. So I think we're going to be seeing Ruby again. I still am holding out for the next companion being not a contemporary British Earth girl. That would be nice. Give me some more characters from the past or other planets, please. But yeah, I guess if you're not going to watch the classic Doctor Who episodes, I'll probably see you for the Christmas special. So yeah, thank you guys for coming along on this ride with me, and I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. But until next time, you guys head off, grab a drink, get a snack, take a nap, go for a walk, go and do something that isn't on YouTube, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye!